Welcome to the AfterMat, your source for WWE pay-per-view recaps. I'm your host, the People's Champ Cal, and alongside me, as always, I have my tag team partner, the Glamazon Delisha. Hey, Delisha.
Hey guys, what's up?
And I'm sure somewhere in the rafters, our fact checker Joe is hanging about, and he's going to come in and give his little viewpoints on everything. Because we were together all weekend, pretty much. Also, I'm sure we're gonna have a visit from our roving reporter, our Brock Lesnar roving reporter, or Brock correspondent Tom Zambino a little later. But as always, today we're talking about the Royal Rumble, and with most Royal Rumbles, you have returns, right? You have some legends return, some Hall of Famers return, some people from NXT get called up. Well, just like that, we'd like to keep that theme, and we have a return today with our very own to complete the stable, the Hitman, Eric Monroe. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what is up, guys? Glad to be back on and talking with you because I have to admit I do miss you.
Yeah, I mean, like, unfortunately, you haven't been watching the product as much, but it has been great. We've been having a lot of good shows lately overall, especially NXT as well. Like, I don't know if you watch all that stuff, but it's been really good.
I think not watching, like I haven't been watching, but I think that really made me like the Royal Rumble a lot because I grade it pretty high.
Yeah, I think also you not watching the Raw 25th, if you haven't watched that, like, it'll make you appreciate the Royal Rumble more. But
I did watch the Raw 25th.
Oh, you did? Okay, so I did ruin some surprises for you
watch
then.
That.
But, yeah.
Razor Ramon was kind of scary looking.
Yes, he was.
He was scary looking.
And many of you guys don't know, but we have injuries too in real life. We have injuries in how we when we do our shows. Sometimes it gets heated. Eric gets a chair thrown at him or something, and he gets an injury. So he's been on the shelf for a little while, coming back, but he's still in some pain, and he's just taking some time out today to be on the show with us. So we don't want to keep him too long. I know he's rehabbing his injury, so I'm sure he'll be back maybe in time for WrestleMania. Hopefully, yeah,
100%.
But we don't want to ruin the surprise yet, because you never know. He might be back early. He might be back later. He could pull John Cena and be back tomorrow.
Maybe money in the bank.
Yes, you never know.
Never know.
So Eric, like, how you been, and like, what did you think of the product that you saw? What was your high point and your low point of the Royal Rumble?
I'm okay. I've been pretty good. I thought overall it was very, very strong. Now, some of my friends are like, it was predictable, this and that, but since I haven't been watching, it wasn't that predictable for me. And the highlight, I really did love the Women's Royal Rumble. I thought it was very, very entertaining. I thought the Royal Rumble, the Men's Royal Rumble itself it was entertaining overall, but, seeing the women's division have one was definitely an amazing highlight. I'm sure seeing you being there live, it had to be even more amazing to witness it up front like that.
Yeah, we're going to get into a lot more details a little bit later, but I know we can't keep you so long. But what did you think of your low points of, like, what did you think wasn't that good?
The Lesnar match, I mean, it was okay, but even like not someone who hasn't been watching, I knew he wasn't going to lose. It was a little predictable to me. It wasn't like a terrible match, but it was just a little, okay, we know he's going to win. So I would say that match.
And what would your overall grade be from A to F?
Oof, I would give this B+.
B+? So, like, people are not really used to your grading scale on how.
Yeah, my grading scale is a little weird, but I'd give it a B+.
So that you said it's pretty good. You really enjoyed it more than, because you've been here for the WrestleMania episode.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, so how compared to the WrestleMania, like, because that's on par to, like, the big four. How'd you feel compared to the WrestleMania?
I think I like this better, to be honest. I think the time off really, really just did help me appreciate it more. I was, for like every match, even the Lesnar match, which I said was my low point, I was entertained pretty. I mean, the 25th anniversary Raw, it was okay for me, but this I thought was a strong pay-per-view, very entertaining. New things like the Women's Royal Rumble. I think when I first heard about it, I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea. It's something new they've never tried, and I think it worked out perfectly. I love Maria Menounos. I think she's very beautiful, so her giving the intro was a big highlight, like that. And so I would go with this over WrestleMania.
Oh, that's cool. Any surprises that you found, like because you haven't watched in a while, so like not I don't mean surprise returns, but is there anything you were surprised to see when you watched the product after such a long time off?
I mean, I know I had heard they brought in people from Japan, the Japanese division, and when I saw them actually wrestle, I haven't seen them wrestle in the States. I thought they were very, very entertaining. A lot of good energy. I could tell they're great performers. I don't know them all that well, but I can see why they won the Royal Rumbles, and I think they're going to have entertaining matches at WrestleMania. So seeing how well they've seem to have assimilated to WWE's, I think what surprised me the most.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. I know we can get into that a little bit later in detail, but like, is there anything else you want to say before you plug yourself or anything like that?
Just overall, I liked it. No, I'm not. It's not going to make me watch Raw every single week again or anything like that. But I would definitely check out Money in the Bank and, of course, WrestleMania, and of course, always the Big Four when I can. But yeah, I thought it was strong. Thought it was entertaining, which is really what you want when you watch one of these pay-per-views. Because the last one I watched, I forget what it was, I wasn't very happy with. But this one I was. So very I was entertained.
So where can we find you and what have you been up to?
Just been working and doing a couple other things, which you'll find out about. Might be getting a promotion at work. You can find me at Twitter at mmkoch. That is Koch200. And you can let me know what you think. You'll probably see me in the next OSP. I think it's going to be a Valentine's Day episode, and I big on love. I love love. I love love stories and all that kind of stuff. So check me out on that, and I'm sure I'll see you guys on that. And just let me know what you think.
Yeah, well, I want to thank you. I know we really did miss you while you were gone, and it's great to have you back on here. And I wish you really still had that passion for wrestling, but I'm glad you kind of had it reignited when you saw the Royal Rumble, and I'm glad.
Enough to watch Money in the Bank. Yes, I would probably definitely watch Money in the Bank.
Well, the next one is Elimination Chamber. That should be kind of fun. Maybe we'll see what happens with that. But hopefully, maybe we'll see you. You let us know when you want to come in because you're always welcome here. You're part of this show.
I love you guys. I miss you guys.
Eric.
And hopefully, we'll be all going to the event together soon.
Next time you come to Philly, hopefully, I'll be able to meet you. The timing just didn't work out. The only time I could have met you was Monday night or Tuesday night, and I know you were both
Raw and
at the events
on
those nights.
I mean, I think the next time we might all see each other might be TakeOver before SummerSlam. I think that's what we're planning. So we'll see what happens down the line.
Okay.
So it's gonna be in Brooklyn. So if you want to come up with Alicia, I'm sure you find a way to do that.
Ooh, never been to Brooklyn. Always wanted to go though.
Ooh, I see some plans in the future.
New York, but not Brooklyn.
All right, Eric, thank you so much for joining us again. We miss you. We wish you the best.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching from bed.
A speedy recovery and everything. So
yes.
Don't pull a CM Punk.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah, I'll be back.
I'm just kidding. I love you, CM Punk.
You'll see me again. You'll see me again.
See you.
Until Joe, I said bye.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. See you later. That was great to have a legend come back to the show just for Royal Rumble. So before we get into our overall thoughts, not like our grades and what we always do, but we always talk about how we enjoyed it the whole weekend. We can actually go into the whole weekend because basically we spent the weekend together. But before we do that, you know how we always say Delisha and I are a tag team. So we purposely dressed up today. She's wearing her. Go ahead, Delisha. What are you wearing?
I am wearing my Nia Jax. I'm not like most girls' shirt because I like to think that I'm not. And Nia Jax is bae. Okay.
And I am wearing my Little Miss Bliss outfit because I'm like Little Miss Bliss in a way because we're basically the same person, I guess. And I got the sweater and I got like 14 other things for Little Miss Bliss, which I'll probably post a picture on my Instagram or Twitter or whatever of all the Little Miss Bliss stuff like that. But I got a lot. So I guess we can go through the weekend on how we did it. I came down on Saturday. I hung out with Joe and Delisha. We had dinner prior to the event, and my friend Raj was there, of course. And then we went to a TakeOver. And if that was the precedent, if that's not the precedent for the weekend, we were stoked. I think that was one of the best events we've ever been to. I think we've been lucky because the last TakeOver we went to before SummerSlam was great too. That was a great event. That's when the oh my god, the Immoral Nexus or whatever they're called, Undisputed Era, made their debut. Right, like not their debut, but they came in and they jumped everybody, and that was pretty cool. I always forget their name. I'm not joking. I really do forget their name every time because I think of Evolution. I think of all these other stables that they have.
Undisputed Era.
Yeah, Undisputed Era. So, I mean, it was pretty cool that Oh, we gotta say hi to Tom Sambino, is always in the chat, our roving reporter. He will be joining us in a little bit. We're gonna talk about the Brock match, and I'm gonna actually start up the fuss spot so that you guys can start earning coins for watching in the chat for the giveaway eventually. But yeah, so then we did that. We take over. It was fantastic. I think that there's by far probably the best night of the 4 days that we had together. The hardcore match between Aleister Black or Extreme Rules match, whatever you want to call it, and Adam Cole was awesome. Was it Adam Cole? Yeah, I think it was Adam Cole. Yeah. That was awesome. And then the main event just was probably could be the match of the year of anything. Speaking of match of the year, we might have something coming about that later on in the year. We'll get to that as the season comes to a close around WrestleMania season. We'll talk about that. But Delisha, what were your thoughts about TakeOver?
By far, that might have been one of my favorite takeovers. Besides, I think TakeOver from not last year, but the year before that, where we had one of the Bayley Sasha matches. Mm-hmm. This might have been one of my favorite takeovers to date. Just being in that crowd with the energy, like Philly is a really good like wrestling city. So when there's good wrestling going on, they know how to applaud it. And I was saying, I don't remember who I was saying before. Someone on Twitter that and Johnny Gargano for the last 5-10 minutes, the crowd was almost everybody was on their feet just cheering because you really didn't know who was going to win. And actually, I don't remember if it was on Monday night or Tuesday night. Someone sitting behind me was like, they were like, I didn't respect Cien Almas until that match. So those, if Johnny Gargano and Cien Almas were stars before, they made themselves stars that night.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the best matches I've ever seen. I'm so privileged to have been there in person. And some of those moves they did, like even in the match prior to that with Aleister Black and Adam Cole, when he did like the attitude adjustment or whatever it was, some move he did onto the chairs, but he did onto like the actual backs of the chairs, not on the seated portion. Like I didn't think they'd allow them to do that. And then the other move that was in the Cien Almas, I think, did like a stomp from the top rope to the outside onto Johnny Gargano, who was like dangling from the corner. Like that was nuts. It blew my mind. I was like turned to Roger. I'm like, they're not gonna let them do this. They're not gonna let them do this. And they did it. I was like, holy shit. Like actually, I kind of never react. I'm usually never like one of those people who are like, holy shit. But when they did that, I could not believe it. I was completely shocked. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. But
yeah, because I remember one of my friends on Twitter that I was tweeting with, when after that Aleister Black Adam Cole match, I was like, how are they gonna top that? And then 20 minutes later, he was like, "Oh, yeah, they did that." it was
right. It was so good. Overall, I'd probably give that a show an A. I mean, well, actually, I shouldn't say that because some of those matches were god awful. Like the Ember Moon match, I just wanted to vomit. It was so bad. And then the other match too.
Awful, but it wasn't their best.
What was the other one? That not the Authors of Pain. The other match besides that was that the Tyler Bate match. And some other guy, I think.
Roderick Strong?
No, that was a Dark Show.
Yeah, that was technically that was NXT taping.
Yeah, so what was the other match that was in between the women, before the women's match, but after the Authors of Pain match?
I think I forgot.
I'm trying to recall.
I got so eclipsed by those two matches that everything else was good. Oh, it wasn't.
Cassius Ohno and Velveteen Dream. Oh my God, that was awful too. But Raj fell in love with Velveteen Dream, so at least Raj got something out of that. So I would say three strong matches.
I thought it was.
What? I think it was stupid, but I don't know. I mean, for me, I would say 3 strong matches and 2 terrible matches. So I'd have to give it like an A- B+. That's how I'd have to go with the grade. But those 2 matches that were great were phenomenal. I can't use the term. Were awesome, amazing.
Yeah, I go with A-.
Tom Zambino is demanding a WrestleMania match against Nightbot. It's funny. We gotta have him there. We gotta have other moderators too, Tom. Yeah, but it'll be a mod match between you guys. It'll be great. So your overall. So I give it A- B+. What about you?
Yeah, A-. I said.
Okay. So the next night, so then we woke up early. Like I guess we all went our separate ways. Went to the hotel. You guys went home. Next morning, I wake up for the Superstar breakfast. I know you guys weren't part of that, but I'll explain to you a little bit what happened. We went downstairs. We needed to bring an we didn't know who's going to be there. and we had to have an item to be signed. So I purposely bought W2K18 so I can get the cover slip of it signed. Actually, I should pull it out right now to show you guys. And then like we also had breakfast tickets to show them, and they're supposed to take it, but they didn't take ours. So like Roger's like, oh hey, let me get that signed because he was gonna get his AfterMat signed, but then he's like, oh wait, then I can never wear it again. And who knows if they could actually sign it because he has the black version of it, so he didn't know if they could actually sign it. So we're sitting there eating breakfast, and then like we kept asking the people like who's coming, and they would just ignore us because they didn't want to ruin the surprise. And when I read things about Reddit earlier, they're like, oh, they send you like maybe like one like mid-level champion and like one normal person, like anybody. And they usually come in the last half hour of breakfast. So breakfast is supposed to be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. These two people showed up exactly at 9 a.m. and stayed the entire time, which is awesome. And the two people happened to be one of Delicia's favorite, Matt Hardy, and the other person happened to be my favorite, Little Miss Bliss, Bliss, blank Bliss. I can't say her name because my device will go off, but she came and I could not believe it. So like we got our pictures with her and him, and it was great. And I got to talk to them, and Raj talked to him a little bit. But when I went up to Matt Hardy, I was like, I still rock my version 1 shirt, which I have from back in the day. I rock it. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And then I went to Alexa, and of course, I love her. So I had to talk to her for a bit. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so like, I shook her hand. I shook both their hands. Raj's like, you're probably never going to wash your hand again. I'm like, oh, Alexa, I just bought like 4 more of your things, like and I'm like, I was about to buy the Uggs boots, but I didn't. She's like, oh yeah, I do have Uggs boots. They're so fantastic. And like, Matt goes like, what are you talking about? She's like, oh, I have used Ugg boots. They're so comfortable and nice. She's like, I guess that's good. And then like, and she's like, well, you should really get them. They're nice. And then I'm like, oh, thanks. And then like I'm like, oh, I got to show you my phone because on my phone I have you as my keyboard texting. She's like, oh my God, how do you do that? I'm like, oh, it's this thing called swipe texting. It's an app you can download. She's like, all right, I'll look into it. And like but it's cool. And I got this signed. So here's my I don't know if you can see it, but WWE Matt Hardy underneath that's Alexa Bliss, covered by the sticker. So I like to protect my Alexa Bliss symbol signature. And then
your shrine.
What? Yeah, I should put it in my shrine that I have. We actually have a funny story about the shrine. That we talk about for the stable that we're gonna eventually make, but we'll talk about some other AfterMat later on if Roger's ever on the show. Then we had Royal Rumble that night, so we can go into the actual Royal Rumble event now. Unless I guess we should just talk about Raw and SmackDown real quick because I feel like that's not more, NXT TakeOver and Royal Rumble are pay-per-views. Raw and SmackDown aren't that really. So after Royal Rumble, we came home, went to sleep. The next day we woke up. And did we hang out on Monday? I'm not even sure. Did we hang out on Monday?
No, I was at work.
Oh yeah, you had work. That's right. Yeah, so we just met up at Raw, and it was a pretty good show overall. Like nothing really that spectacular happened, I don't think. And then that's about it. And then SmackDown, we actually the day before we went to go get cheesesteaks during the day, and we hung out at a few bars that we went to, and then we went to SmackDown. And that was fun. And at that time, I didn't even know you guys were telling me that there's 205 Live afterwards, and then the Mixed Match Challenge with Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman, and that was fun. So that was Tuesday and Monday were great, like ways to cap off the weekend, like seeing you guys and seeing the shows and sitting close, and we got on TV a bunch of times, so that was cool. But to get to the main event, like the whole thing that we're here for is the Royal Rumble 2018 that featured the first ever Women's Royal Rumble. The first it's opened with three dark matches. Sorry, 3 pre-show matches. First one was the 6-man tag team match: Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lince Dorado against TJP, Gentleman Jack Gallagher, and Drew Gulak, who's the hometown boy, I guess, because Joe was telling me that prior to that. It was okay. It was a good match, very entertaining, high flying, and then I think I forgot who ate the pin, but one of the bad guys ate the pin, and the Luchadors won, and that was a good match. It was fun. What'd you think?
I was busy prepping for my watch party, so I only saw it in the peripheral as I was in the kitchen. But I did see like the ending. I mean, I feel like it was matches we've seen plenty of times before on 205 and whatnot, so I knew I wasn't really missing anything.
The next match was the Revival, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, the Bullet Club or Balor Club, whatever you want to call them. It was like a rematch from what happened at
Anniversary.
I'm just reading the chat, and Tom Zambino is going at it with Nightbot, and it's so funny. Him and Nightbot they're starting a feud right now in the chat, so we might have a match at WrestleMania between Nightbot and Tom Zambino. It's hilarious. Okay, anyway, yeah, so it was a good match. It was, it was a lot better than the match that we saw on the 25th anniversary Raw. But yeah, It was good. Did you see that match or no?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I did. It's just been so tainted because of how they came out with the 25th and just getting buried by DX and Balor Club that they kind of slowed down the momentum that the crowd might have had for them. I mean, not their rival themselves, creative who put that storyline in place. But we shall see. Slowly but surely, when they came out on Monday, they hardly got any pop at all. And this is one of the best tag teams from NXT. So it's
Yeah.
bad.
Too bad it doesn't translate over. That's what sucks.
Yeah.
The final pre-show match was Bobby Roode opening it, doing his US whatever Open challenge, and we're excited to see who we thought maybe someone will come out and take the challenge up like some spectacular return, but unfortunately it was Mojo Rawley. He easily defeated Mojo Rawley. There's talks in the back that it might have been Adam Cole, but it was Mojo Rawley, and it was a stupid match. I don't know. Do you have anything to say about that? So basically, Bobby Roode retained.
No, it's that deflated everyone who was watching. We were at this point, we were all on the couch, and we were like, "Oh, it's gonna come out!" And it was like Mojo Rawley. You could just hear the sigh from everyone in the room. It was like, "Oh,
yeah." My whole section was like, "What? Oh, that's what they said." That's so funny.
Yeah, we're not on the Mojo hype train.
Yeah, that's what Tom just asked. Like, are you saying that you were not hyped for that match? So the actual Royal Rumble kicked off with the WWE Championship match: AJ Styles against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and this was a very good match. You know, these are three great wrestlers, one of which is phenomenal, and it's just great wrestling, technical wrestling overall, like all around. It's so fun to watch, and we knew we were gonna have that one spot where there'll be some questionable action that happened at the end, which is what happened, where AJ had I think Sami in a over-the-shoulder fireman kind of way, and he tried to tag Kevin Owens, but they missed each other by like a millimeter or whatever it was. But Kevin Owens came in like he was tagged. AJ ended up pinning Kevin Owens, but it shouldn't have counted because he wasn't actually tagged. But that's what happened, and I don't know. Like I thought it was fun. I thought it's going to lead to a more open, match later on, which we'll talk about. I guess that's what happened in SmackDown. SmackDown they had a match, a tag team match with Shinsuke and him versus the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. But I think Daniel Bryan said they're going to have a match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to become the number one contender for the title or something like that, at Fastlane or something like that. I don't know what it was exactly, but something like that.
Yeah, well, this Tuesday, next Tuesday, that's their match.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw Kevin Owens laying the seeds, calling Sami a failure because we'll talk about it later. He didn't deliver on what he was supposed to do.
What'd you think of that match, the first match, the opening match?
Oh, that was a pretty good match. Like I said before, anytime those three aren't involved with a match, they're usually pretty golden. I was shocked, but not shocked that was the first match going on. I thought it might have been the tag team match, but I was pretty pleasantly surprised. I was like, oh, we're going to start off with a bang and hopefully keep on continuing.
Yeah, if you were shocked at that order of the matches, wait till what happens. We'll talk about in a few minutes about what happened with the order of the matches. But yeah, that was kind of nuts seeing that happen. Start off the WWE title match. Yeah, I thought it would be the SmackDown title match, tag team match, which was the next match. The Usos were the champions against Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Now, let me tell you, like, I wasn't expecting anything from this match. I know we've been loving the tag team division, and this definitely delivered more than I expected from this match. And not only did that deliver, I think Shelton Benjamin put himself back on the map again. He had awesome moves, like doing these crazy power bombs, some awesome running knees, and all this crazy stuff he did that I don't remember seeing when he was back on Team Angle. He did really more. I feel like Team Angle is more suplexing that he did. Here he did crazy moves, and I was really happy to see that. And I was really happy to Shelton Benjamin. The Usos took the first pin fall by doing it like a double, what do you call it, super kick, and then all that kind of stuff, and they got the pin. And then immediately after, a few minutes later, one of the Usos, I never know which one's which, rolled up I think Gable and pinned him, or rolled up I don't know who rolled up someone. They rolled up somebody and pinned him right away. So they won a 2-0 match. It was Shelton. Okay, yeah, and because it's a 2 out of 3 fall match, and they took 2 quick falls, but it was a good match, I thought.
Yeah, it was pretty good match. Like you said, I wasn't expecting the 2 straight. I wasn't expecting the clean sweep. Because normally one team wins, the other one wins, and then they fight it out for that third one. So that was pretty different. But it didn't lead me to believe like what's gonna happen with I almost said Chad and Gable. That's his full name. Benjamin and Gable going further down the road. So I'm not sure because as we know, WWE in the larger sense has a tag team problem storyline wise. And actually going back to your Shelton Benjamin point, yeah, he was pretty much subdued with the technicalness when he's part of Team Angle, but when he became a single star, he was doing a lot of those high action spots as well. But yeah, overall, it was a solid match and a good surprise getting the clean sweep. It was pretty good.
So that brings us to the next match, which is a shock to everyone, was the men's Royal Rumble. So the reason I was shocked about this, not because I thought the women's Royal Rumble should come first. The reason I was shocked about this was because I was like, wait, there's still other matches later on. So like people like Sheamus had to wrestle twice. People like Seth Rollins had to wrestle twice. Whoever else, like or Cesaro even too had to wrestle twice. I feel like if they did the tag team matches first, they could like rest for a bit and then later on they could have time. But like no, they were pretty much back to back. Like this was the men's Royal Rumble, and right after that was the Cesaro and Sheamus match. So like that they had no time to rest basically. But as you know, they were thrown out relatively fast. So it was pretty. I thought it was kind of awkward just to the timing and all that. But the first two entrants were Rusev was the first one, and who had a giant pop because he loved the everyone's the whole Rusev Day thing. And the second entrant was Finn Balor, and he lasted for almost an hour. Rusev lasted for about a half an hour. I think notable entrances. Number 7 was Andre Cien Almas, who was your NXT champion. Another notable entrance is number 10. It was supposed to be Ty Dillinger, but Sami Zayn attacked him, and then he came out and was thrown out almost immediately, I think, or like 7 minutes later about. Sheamus was thrown out relatively quickly by Heath Slater. Yep. And that is pretty funny because Heath Slater came out and he got destroyed by Baron Corbin as Baron Corbin was leaving. And then when the next few people came out, like Elias came out, he was playing his guitar and he hit Heath Slater. Andrade hit Slater. Bray Wyatt just laughed at Slater. Big E fed him some pancakes. I think Sami Zayn hit him again. And then Sheamus finally put him into the ring, which caused him to get thrown out. At number 14, another notable entrant was Shinsuke Nakamura. 15 was Cesaro, who was thrown out relatively fast at number 5. Kofi was number 16, who had his moment where he was thrown over the top, but he's caught by... He landed on the floor with one foot, but the other foot landed on Xavier Woods. Then Big E shoved a pancake tray underneath his foot, and he kind of like glided around, and then they kind of springboarded him back into the ring. At number 18 was Seth Rollins. Number 20 was John Cena. Number 21 was the first kind of surprise entrant. The Hurricane, who was very quickly thrown out by John Cena in 45 seconds. Number 23 was another surprise entrant, was Adam Cole, who from NXT. Baby. And number 27 was probably the biggest surprise entrant, which I did call earlier in the night. I was saying, it's going to be, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Rey Mysterio tonight. And Roger's like, that'd be cool. And it was Rey Mysterio, number 27. Roman Reigns came at 28. 29 was Goldust. And number 30 was, I guess, what you can consider a surprise entrant, the return of Dolph Ziggler. And he was thrown out within 2 minutes. I think the last 4 men were Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, I think, John Cena. Shinsuke Nakamura, Roman Reigns, John Cena, and
Ray, wasn't it?
No, it was Finn.
Finn. Okay, it was Finn. Okay, yeah. And then I think the last 2 members were Shinsuke and Roman Reigns, and Shinsuke threw out Roman Reigns, and Shinsuke is now your winner. I do remember saying that. Maybe, I don't know how many AfterMats ago, but you could watch the recordings. I did say either AJ Styles will win the Royal Rumble to face Shinsuke at WrestleMania if Shinsuke is champion after beating Jinder, or if AJ becomes champion, Shinsuke will win the Royal Rumble to face him at WrestleMania. So what are your thoughts on WrestleMania? Any highlights for you, lowlights for that men's Royal Rumble part? And what do you think about the winner?
I think one of the highlights was seeing how good a shape Rey Mysterio got himself in, because man, did he look good. If you noticed before, when he couple Rumbles ago, maybe 2-3 years, he wasn't like overweight and out of shape, but you can tell like this time he put in that work. It was great to see some of the NXT stars, Adam Cole and CN, get some time in, like some pretty considerable amount of time. They weren't just in and thrown right back out. They got some. They were able to get some time in. Again, wasn't surprised that it was Shinsuke, although WWE did a good job of like causing that tension with the crowd. There were plenty of times when we thought it was going to be Cena, plenty of times when we thought it was going to be Reigns, and the crowd was probably ready to riot at that point. My friend even made a joke that they put the men's on first so Roman could win, and to pick the crowd back up later on with the women's rumble. But overall, yeah, it was pretty good, and I was glad to see Shinsuke get his shine in, and hopefully to see that dream match of AJ versus Shinsuke.
Which we should hopefully see, right? Because I don't see anything changing that besides Fastlane, correct? In a way, I think. Yeah. So I did also notice that Rey Mysterio was in fantastic shape. He was in amazing shape. That Heath Slater moment was probably my favorite of the entire part of the Royal Rumble, besides Shinsuke winning. The next match happened to be the Raw Tag Team Championship, Sheamus and Cesaro against the champions Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. Seeing that entrance in person was amazing because I always talk about how I love their entrance. I mean, meaning Sheamus and Cesaro. Seeing it in person was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's what we expected. I thought Sheamus and Cesaro would win. It was cool that everyone was saying happy birthday to Sheamus because it was his birthday. To the audience saying, "I'm happy birthday," and they ended up winning because Jason Jordan got hurt, quote unquote hurt, so he couldn't tag. Rollins in. Or Rollins couldn't tag him in, or Rollins did tag him in, but then he tagged himself back out right away, and then he walked away and sat at the steps, and Rollins got double teamed and ended up losing. But it turns out, I think he is really hurt in real life, I think, but I don't know how that played into the story aspect, if that was supposed to happen anyway. I'm not sure. But Sheamus and Cesaro are your new tag team champions, Raw tag team champions.
Yeah, again, pretty solid 2-on-1 handicap match, basically. Yeah, it was pretty good. Nothing like really bad about it. Like again, like we said, we don't know if Jason Jordan is actually hurt or if that was all a work. You never know sometimes with WWE. When they can, they play their cards pretty close to the hand. Yeah, I think it was right to put it back on Sheamus and Cesaro. I didn't know where we were going with Seth and Jason Jordan anyway. So we shall see in the coming weeks what's going to happen with the tag team division.
Well, we pretty much know that the original plans did not call for Seth and Jason to be tag champs together.
Well, yeah.
It was most likely originally supposed to be Rollins and Ambrose getting the championship back, and then this leading to the Ambrose heel turn with setting up an Ambrose Rollins match with the roles reversed at WrestleMania. But of course, Samoa Joe happened to beat Ambrose, so that's pretty much why we're in the situation we're in. But pretty much, I mean, it was a good match, and if Jason wasn't legitimately injured, then he sold it pretty damn well. But we shall see. I guess maybe next Monday's Raw, we shall see what ends up happening.
Yeah, because they didn't show up on this Monday's Raw, so I don't know.
Surprising.
So we do have the next match that is the Universal Championship match, triple threat, Brock Lesnar against Kane and Braun Strowman. I think we can get a roving reporter in. We'll drop the link into chat, so if he wants to join in, he can click on that and join in. But we can talk about it for a minute. And we had Brock Lesnar, the defending champion, against Kane and Braun Strowman. And remember, it being a triple threat match, there are no rules, so you can have it can turn into a hardcore match, which it did. There were chairs, and there were no ladders, but there were tables. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And like I said, all we're gonna do is we're gonna expect. And like Tom Zambino texted me early in the morning, I think it was early in the morning, or maybe right before Rumble goes, "Oh, you know why Kane's in this match, and everyone knows why Kane's in this match. He's gonna eat the pin because you can't have Braun Strowman lose to Brock, and you can't have Brock lose to Braun Strowman. So you gotta make them both look strong, and that's why Kane is there." And everyone pretty much knew that. People in the audience were saying that as we were watching it. You're getting an error. Why is everyone getting an error? Let me try sending the link again. If that doesn't work, I will email you the link. Text me your email again. I'm pretty sure I have it, but I can't remember it. Try that again. If it doesn't work, I will email you, buddy. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, why I don't know what everyone's fascination with Braun Strowman is. I mean, he's funny. Like his segment off the camera at not 205 mixed match Rumble is funny. The all right. He's a funny guy. He's a very good personality. It's just I don't get like all he does is go raw and then just pick up people and throw them. That's all he does. And like I don't know why that's so great. But yeah, it was just a bunch of big spots with slams through tables and chairs and all that. And Brock Lesnar ended up winning, retaining by pinning Kane with an F5 onto a chair. I think it was. That's about it. Like I don't know. There's not much more to say. What did you think about it?
I mean, it was all right. It wasn't as terrible as people might have made it seem like it was going to be once King got inserted into the match. It was a spot fest of tables, and we all knew Brock was going to win. The surprise would be if Braun did win, but I mean, we all know what their scenes of direction they're trying to aim in. So I didn't really have a stake in this match. I was just there to just see what Braun and Brock would do. Honestly, I don't know, and I think the obsession or why Braun, start to see these BRs, man, it's so over. Is that one? He's a big guy. Kind of like Kane in his prime, where he's a big guy who could actually like move around in the ring and still do some spots you don't expect big men of his size and stature to do. And plus, like you said, either off camera or in those slight promos, you see the shining of his personality coming out, and I think fans kind of like attach to that as well. And sometimes the fans just have a weird pick, and they just go with it.
Well, in the chat, Tom Zambino says that Braun Strowman is awesome. He's the best monster we've had in a while. So why don't we hear it from him in person? Because here he is, our Brock correspondent himself, the Road Raider, Tom Zambino, in an ugly jersey again, I think.
I think you mean an amazing jersey, but yeah, it's not weird at all why everyone attaches to Braun. Is everyone loves a good beast. That's why people like Brock Lesnar, despite him knowing only 5 moves and having matches that last 9 seconds. Because he's cool. He's big. He's strong. He's basically a stuntman at this point, flipping trucks and ambulances and going into garbage trucks. So everyone loves a stuntman. Everyone loves Tom Cruise for doing crazy things in Mission Impossible. Everyone loves Braun Strowman for flipping trucks. He's awesome. And everyone, he makes even a lame finishing maneuver look cool. You know how hard it is to make a simple power slam look cool?
I don't know. The British Bulldog did it for a really long time, so.
Well, good for him.
But yeah, I am starting to get a little bthat more affection towards him because of his segments with Alexa Bliss. Those have been Alexa Bliss. Those things are so funny. Like that the flipping the car segment. Tom, have you seen that one? I posted on Twitter. You should watch it. Where he's like, I know it's not an ambulance or semi truck, but we're gonna start something off easier. And she's like, I could have worn my own shirt. He's like, no, I wore that. I sweated in that. And she's like, ew. And he's like, that instantly makes you 30% stronger. And like, it's just so funny the interactions they have. And you should watch it if you haven't seen it already. But what are your takes on this match? And then right after that, give us your takes on the men's Royal Rumble.
Well, I mean, the title match was certainly a match. Things happened. It's first off, when did this start happening where every single triple threat match, fatal 4-way match has to end in a hardcore match?
No,
when did we decide this?
It's always been
yes, it's always been implied that there's been no disqualifications, but now it's just constantly used, every single one. It's getting old at this point, honestly. Just call it an Extreme Rules match if you want it to be an Extreme Rules match. You're negating any sort of the entire Extreme Rules pay-per-view by having every single triple threat match break out into Table Fest. It's stupid. And like I texted you earlier, it was a telegraphed match from the beginning. Everyone had their cool spots. Braun looked cool. Brock looked cool. Kane had no business being there and took a pin. That was the match.
I still cheer for Kane though, because I love Kane. He's like consummate professional, and like he's just like
good for
childhood, you know.
good for him being the warrior and all, but man, it's tough to watch at this point because he's just being the good Samaritan coming out and putting the new guy over. But I used to like Kane, man.
He was a
Now
monster. Yeah.
now watching him slug through a match, not even in the cool way, is just kind of sad.
So you weren't too fond of this match, then overall, you'd say.
Not really.
What
It
about
would have, yeah.
the men's Royal Rumble?
It was, was okay. I don't know who those NXT folks are. They were fun. Uh, it was cool to see Rey Mysterio back for a bit. He looked in much better shape than actually he was when he was in WWE. So good for him. I really liked the I think the best part was the fact that they made the final four the two consummate WWE guys versus the two indie dudes,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really fun to me. That was probably the best part. And then Nakamura standing off with Roman was pretty cool. So overall, men's Rumble was actually pretty cool, even though it felt like it kind of went fast, probably because they knew they had two Rumbles.
Right. Well, it did time out at 1:05, so 1 hour and 5 minutes. So that's not that bad. That's why I think that's why they rushed the double the 2 out of 3 falls match. They went fast through that with 2-0 count, and also they were supposed to have the Enzo Amore match too, but obviously what happened with that. So,
A bit awkward there.
yeah. So then after that we have our final the women's Royal Rumble match, so we can talk about that. The first 2 entrances, Sasha Banks is number 1, and she lasted about almost an hour. She was, I think, one of the last 4 in the ring. 55 minutes almost. Number 2 is Becky Lynch. Some notable entrances. At number 5 was Lita. Number 6 was Kairi Sane from NXT. Oh, I should mention NXT. Tom, if you have the WWE Network, you should check out NXT TakeOver Philly because it was really good, especially the last 2 matches. Check that out. You can get an idea of how good that is. Number 9 was Tori Wilson. Number 12 was Molly Holly. Number 14 was Michelle McCool. Number 16 was somebody else I called. I'm like, oh, I expect to see this person come out. Is Vicky Guerrero. Number 17 was Carmella, who's the women's Money in the Bank, currently holds the women's Money in the Bank. Number 19 was Kelly Kelly. Number 21 is Jacqueline. Number 22 is Nia Jax. Michelle McCool and Nia Jax pretty much cleaned house for the most part. Number 23 was your NXT Women's Champion, Ember Moon. Number 24 was Beth Phoenix. Number 25 was Asuka. Number 27 and 28 were the Bellas. 29 was Bailey. And then number 30 was Trish Stratus. So that was, everyone knew if it wasn't going to be Rousey, it was going to be Trish Stratus at 30. I think the final 4, Michelle McCool, I think, had the most eliminations with 5. So that was pretty cool to see. Nia Jax was probably next with 4. And then Nikki Bella also had 4. The final 4 members were the 2 Bellas, Sasha and Asuka. The Bellas teamed up to throw a Sasha out, and then Nikki turned on Brie and threw her out in a way, just punched her off the apron, I guess. And then Asuka ended up throwing Nikki out, and Asuka is the winner of the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, which I did also say several aftermaths ago. So that's great to see that come true. Too, it was good. I mean, I think it wasn't as good as the Men's Royal Rumble. I think it was better in the sense that you got more nostalgia out of it with all those comebacks, but at the same time, we didn't get as good technical. There's a lot of gaffes in how they threw over the top because they used to the battle royals used to be like through the middle rope or just out of the ring under any rope. But having them, it was I feel like the same over and over. Like they put them on the top turnbuckle, they sat them on the top turnbuckle, they punched them, they fell over, and they fell to the outside. We had a few good spots where they threw people over. That was pretty cool, but a lot of them were kind of botched a little bit and stuff like that. One of the cool things I saw is when Beth Phoenix picked up Nia Jax in the fireman's carry. I was hoping she'd throw her over like that and show Beth Phoenix being strong, but we didn't get that. We had everyone throw up Nia Jax. I'm gonna go to Delisha first. What did you think of the Women's Royal Rumble and how it ended and your high spots and all that?
I thought it was really good. Of course, I was nervous because of how Money in the Bank was. I think pretty much everyone watching was, and I think WWE knew that they had to execute it. I think even though the women knew that it had to be executed right, I did like a lot of the returning stars, with the exception of maybe Tori Wilson and Kelly, because one, I was never a big fan of theirs. I never thought that they put in good work, hardly ever. So seeing them, I was just like, oh, well, okay, fine. It was really good to see Molly Holly in there because she is probably one of the best female wrestlers of that era, of all time, of course, but of that era. And of course, one of my favorite high spots was seeing Beth Phoenix face off with Nia Jax because that was just awesome. Seeing these two like strong women just go at it. I would have liked them to be in a little bit longer, but that's just my own thing, not actually what should have happened. I was glad Asuka got the win. It was telegraphed, but hey, sometimes the telegraph thing is the right move to go with. I really also like the spot between Nikki and Trish because anyone who's watched from the early 2000s, probably until Trish's retirement, those two had one of the best rivalries of that time. And just to see them two face off and then have Trish eliminate Nikki, which I prefer because Trish is always going to go over with something. But it was pretty good. It was pretty neat to see that history kind of clash. And if you kind of look in the peripheral, you can see the women are not really like doing much fighting. They're kind of like watching them too, because even still, you can get awestruck by your heroes.
Mm-hmm. There's something I think that like I want to note that like when I saw Beth Phoenix and Nia Jax score off, I turned to Roger, I'm like, oh, Delicia's probably loving this part. She's loving it. It's their two favorite. The Molly Holly spot where she actually did the somersault off the top, that was awesome. The Trish Stratus and Mickie James thing was also really cool. I would have loved to see Trish and Lita go at it in the Royal Rumble. That's one thing we missed out on. And the one thing I also did call him, like I told Raj, like I turned to Raj, like as soon as Trish got there in the ring, I'm like, she's gonna be eliminated by doing her little what do you call it, the Stratisfaction, whatever it's called. But she's gonna be thrown over the top as she tries to kick off the top rope, and that did end up happening. So that was cool to see too. But I'm gonna go throw it over to Tom now. Tom, what do you think of the Women's Royal Rumble?
I thought it was pretty decent. As far as your pick, like Alicia said, was telegraphed, and I believe I responded to your picks by obvious answer is obvious. It was kind of obvious, but it was still a fun ride anyway. It I'm not in. We all know why. No spoilers ahead. Why this was the main event, but I don't think they were quite ready for the Rumble to be the main event. Cal, you mentioned that it was a bit inconsistent about over the ropes. There was also a bit sloppy as far as move execution. There were a lot of missed moves, a lot, and it felt it was good. It was, but I think there's gonna be some growing pains with this women's Royal Rumble since the Battle Royals have always been just like you said through the middle rope. But I think Beth Phoenix being there was probably the coolest bit. She's probably gonna be sore as hell the day after. Is that I mean, she looked to be in great shape, but
I don't know. We saw her
lifting Nia
that challenge, and she was moving around pretty well. Remember, she is a former bodybuilder.
This is true, but
so they keep you pretty in shape.
it's true, but that didn't look very easy. I'm sure there was a lot of selling in there, but that was really cool.
I'm sure her husband gives her quite an edge in terms of training.
Yeah. I do want to point out
it was decent. It was a good first Women's Royal Rumble, I think.
I do want to point out though, with these predictions I made them back like before the Royal Rumble was even set, that they had a Women's Royal Rumble. I said like this is like back, like I don't know how long ago. If you go back in AfterMat episodes, you can see that I said this. I'm like, I feel like the whole Shinsuke, I set the whole Shinsuke and AJ thing back in the day. I don't know how far back, but then with Asuka, I told like while Asuka was still in NXT, I was telling Bleach, I'm like, she should go through undefeated, relinquish the title, then go on, then win if they have Women's Royal Rumble, win the Royal Rumble, and face off whoever. And that's what happened. Like, so it wasn't just like before the Royal Rumble. This is who I picked. So I want to make that note. So it's important to mention. So yeah, I guess we can go to the final thing, like the big thing of the night, the reveal. Like how fans had to go home happy. Asuka goes to the middle ring after winning. Remember, Stephanie came out to guest commentate. Charlotte and Alexa Bliss came out to watch to see, because whoever wins, she gets to pick who she faces. So after Asuka wins, they both get into the ring. She looks at both of them, and then we think that's how it's gonna end. And then also, like I'm like so focused on like Little Miss Bliss in the ring. I'm like, oh my god, she's in the ring. She's so close to me, and I'm like just looking at her, and like ever so the crowd erupts. I'm like, why are they erupting? And like, keep in mind, I'm sitting on the entrance ramp. Like, I'm at the entrance ramp, the third row in, or fourth row in that night, the fourth row in. And like, so it's right behind me. It's going off. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I turn around and I see like Rousey, like Ronda Rousey, like on the screen. I'm like, oh my god, I guess she's coming out now. And I was like one of those marks in the audience that had like the reaction, like, oh my god, I can't believe it, like she's coming out now. And she came out, and it was like she came out really fast, and like, you know, had the handshake with Asuka, who slapped it away, and then she shook hands with Stephanie and left. And that's how the night cut off. Because I remember asking you guys like, how did the night cut off? But then apparently, well, after I was like so excited to get my chair because we didn't get a chair at TakeOver, so I was so excited. Like I was complaining how I didn't get a chair at TakeOver. I like ripped my chair out like from they tie them together with zip ties, so we actually had to break them off because you're supposed to wait for the people to come by and check your ticket to see if you have a legit ticket, cut out the bolt cutters or whatever, and then you could take it. I just ripped mine and like we ran out with it, not realizing Rousey came back out again right where we were sitting and was like giving people hugs and taking pictures, and I was so upset I missed that. But we also had to catch our Uber, so. So what do you think? I'll go to Tom first this time. What do you think of Rousey's appearance? You loved it, huh?
I can't. Well, first off, I can't stand Ronda Rousey, and second, you just stole away the moment of the first winner of the Women's Royal Rumble. You robbed it. It would for a dumb, unclear moment that we're not sure what the hell even happened other than, hey, Rhonda's here in her ill-fitting jacket. I understand the history between that jacket, but I did not know the history and it looked weird. But I think that sigh says it all. It's
what about you, Jalisha?
I'm kind of pretty much in the same boat. I don't watch UFC or MMA, so I don't have the hype train that Ronda Rousey has. I thought this was poorly executed. I didn't mind that might have been the ending spot of like a stare off, but I don't think it was executed well. Again, like Tom said, it kind of took away from Asuka's moment of winning the Rumble. Now everybody's talking about Rousey, and I know she just comes out, points the WrestleMania sign, tries to shake Asuka's hand, points at the WrestleMania sign, shakes Stephanie McMahon's hand, goes back up the ramp and points the WrestleMania sign again. It was like, you did nothing to deserve that. Right. I actually wouldn't have minded if she just like knocked Asuka out or something like that, just so there could be some heat on her or something. Or even if it was like Asuka like roundhouse kick Alexa and Charlotte, and then Rousey came out, and then they had a stare off, and then just Asuka knocks her out in the face too. But we didn't get any of that. It was just something that looked awkward.
They would never put the celebrity under like that. They would never do that.
I know that's true.
So
but right now she's came in the game time trying to wrestle. So it's time to act like a wrestler and maybe to sell something. She didn't tell me anything.
I saw Joe hanging down from the rafters in the back. Did he have anything to say about this Rousey appearance?
I'm just gonna say that I pretty much knew that Rousey had signed with WWE, and that. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be an actual full-time deal, so I was kind of figuring that she was going to appear in the Royal Rumble. Although I, like other people, thought that maybe she would actually be in the Rumble. Although I feel like maybe this was actually the better way to go about it, because now at least you don't make Asuka look weak by having her eliminated by Rousey winning the Rumble. You don't have, and at the same token, you don't have Rousey come in and look any weak by having Asuka toss her over the rope. So now we're in the boat where we don't know which brand Rousey's on. We've had the rumors of that she's going to have a match at WrestleMania. It's going to either be against Stephanie McMahon or Charlotte Flair. So she could be headed over to SmackDown Live for that feud. But then again, you just don't know what's going to happen, because you figure Asuka's going to challenge the Raw Women's Champion, since Shinsuke's challenging the champion on SmackDown, just to keep things even. But it's just like, they just left this so open ended, and it's like, and nobody really has any idea what's going on. I don't think Rousey even knows what's going on.
Right. I agree with you. I don't think they should have had her in the Rumble because if they did, they probably would have to have her win. I don't think that's fair to all the women that have paved the way for the division from then until now. Like, so I don't think it would have been fair if she was in the Rumble because they'd probably have to have her win. But the way I booked it for her, if she was in the Rumble, I'd have like a stable throw her out because that way she could have a little small feud before going into the WrestleMania. But they would never do that because they want to make that big money match at WrestleMania where she makes her first appearance. And that's what it's going to be. And I think she's probably supposed to face Charlotte. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But that would probably be the better match technical wise because I don't want to see Little Miss Bliss get beaten by Rousey, but unfortunately she's probably gonna get beaten by Asuka. So whatever happens, it sucks, but it's all right. I think it was pretty cool because I'm a huge MMA fan. I was a Rousey fan, so it's pretty cool to see her in person because every UFC I've gone to, she's never fought. The ones I've been to, or she's never been in the audience either. So seeing her in person was pretty cool. So I enjoyed that so much.
Her being there, I thought was cool. I just think that the execution of how it all played out just didn't pan out. That's my whole deal. Like, I didn't like her being there at all because I knew it was a big pop for the fans, for fans of her.
I do agree with Tom 100% that it took away from Asuka winning it. So maybe they should have had her come out in the beginning when they had Alexa and Charlotte come out with Stephanie. But I don't know. Like,
I'm not entirely sure there's a good way to do that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And
but at least I got to see her. That's the good news.
Yeah, like they think I'm telling you, I think they might be working that into an angle because I saw more than one of the Raw. I think it was basically the Raw Divas tweeting about way to sell Rousey and take away the light of all the women who just made history. And usually, when more than one superstar is tweeting about that, I feel like it's a work. So I think they might be throwing that into an angle somewhere down the line about that.
Right.
Hopefully. And this is WWE we're talking about, so we don't know.
All right, so I guess we'll go around the table and we'll do or around the ring to each corner of the turnbuckle and go for our low point, our high point, and then our overall grade. So we'll start with our roving reporter, Tom Zambino. What do you think?
Low point. My low point would probably be, I know you guys are probably high on it, but the tag team match between the Usos and Benjamin and Gable. See, it took me a while to think of them again. That's damning. But I think I mentioned on the chat, I kind of had that on mute and was doing other things while that match was happening because I didn't care. And I don't really watch SmackDown very much, so Benjamin and Gable just feel like a throw together team for me. And I was completely uninterested, therefore low point. High point. I'd probably give the high point to Asuka winning. That was really cool, and it was the right move. And overall grade, I will give it a solid C+. It's a passing grade.
The harsh critic today. The harsh critic. All right, so let's go over
you guys are all super nice, and then I rounded out by being the critic.
Usually I'm the harsh one. I always give like the worst grades for the things, but I've been quite impressed lately. But we'll go over to Deletion, see how she feels. Maybe she feels something differently.
My grade won't be that low. My low point, I don't know. It might have to be that Rousey thing, just because it could have been something a little bit better. They just didn't execute it very well. And I mean, yeah, and the Usos match was like, it was good, but it wasn't like terrible. But my high point is gonna have to be the Hurricane coming up. No, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be the Women's Royal Rumble. It was a historic moment that WWE, like the Money Man, kind of botched, but they did it right. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little emotional at the beginning of the match when I knew for sure that they were main eventing the Royal Rumble, because that's never happened before. And just to have that to be the main event was a plus for me. And also we have two Japanese stars from the independent scene winning both Royal Rumbles. That's pretty historic enough in itself as well. So I think overall grade is probably going to be a B plus. While it was a good pay-per-view, they still had some execution problems with some storylines and also executing some moves and stuff like that. So I'll give it an overall B plus.
All right, what about Joe? What about Joe?
What about Joe?
Don't injure anybody, Samoa Joseph.
Well, you're lucky I can't muscle bust you. But I'd say it was a pretty good pay-per-view. The flow was pretty good and everything. I would say my low point in terms of a spot or segment, I'll go with deletions and just mention the whole thing just because it seemed like it wasn't executed correctly and we never really and we actually still haven't even found out officially which title Asuka is going to challenge for at WrestleMania, because just as she was about to make that decision is when Ronda came out. So we have all that stuff hanging. Although in terms of low points, in terms of the matches, I would give it to the Universal Championship match just because it's pretty predictable that Kane's in the match. Kane's gonna take the fall and look weak, and then in terms of high point, I'll say I can't really pick like any like one match as a high point, so I'll just say the high point would be Nakamura and Asuka winning their respective Royal Rumbles. I mean, it was as predictable as it was. It was also the right move, and it basically says, and it shows that WWE is fully invested in these big names Japanese superstars, so that we know that, and we pretty much know that they should soon be holding championship gold and carrying their respective and helping to carry their respective brands. So it should be, but it was definitely a good show. Overall grade, I'd say somewhere between a B plus and an A minus. I mean, I could be all Daniel Bryan, yes, and just say B plus, but I would also say it was an A minus territory. So it's definitely somewhere in that region.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same train as you guys. For my low point, actually, it's completely different. It's having Mojo Rawley come out as the U.S. Open challenger. That really did, like the sigh, or I think that was you that said, Delisha, the sigh that you heard in the arena completely destroyed me. What's up, Tom?
What about your low point of the real show?
Oh, the real show? Maybe it might have to be I don't know, man. There wasn't really anything bad about the real show, in my opinion. I enjoyed all of it. Maybe just the botches, a lot of the sloppiness of the women's rumble, seeing like how they're thrown out, and every time it's just like put them on the top rope, hit them, and have them fall out. Like, but a lot of the sloppiness. That's, I always commend the women. I love how they work, and I always want them to be have them given more of a chance. Like I always say, when they have the fatal four ways and more than two women fight, it gets a little sloppy. But I think just the sloppiness of the women's rumble is kind of my low point. But conversely, the high point for me was just having the nostalgia of the women's rumble, like having all those women come back. I love Trish Stratus; she's my favorite. Like, so seeing her come back, and just having, like I said, like being a foreigner, seeing like two foreign people win the Royal Rumble, respectively. Asuka and Shinsuke was huge for me too. I loved it. Not only made my prediction correct too, that was awesome too. But that was great to see. Also, another favorite moment was Heath Slater. That Heath Slater the whole segment of Heath Slater just getting his ass beat, because I'm sitting right there where Heath Slater is. Funny note, off production note, is like the next day on Raw when they came out. I think they're on Raw, right? Is Heath on Raw? Yeah, whatever program he's on. When he came out the next time, that cameraman said to him, "Oh, you actually, like, off camera." He's like this is while he's coming out during his entrance, but he's not on camera. He goes to him like, because they're showing like some, like, I don't know, some like WWE toy commercial up on the Titantron, so I guess it's a commercial. The camera goes, "Oh, you're actually gonna get past this spot to Heath," and Heath like pushes him. It's like really funny. Like, it was just a cute segment that they had, a cute joke he had. Another fun production joke was that some girl had a sign saying, "Sheamus, I'm your birthday gift," and Cesaro ended up seeing it as they're walking out, and Cesaro stopped Sheamus and goes, "Look," and then they all started laughing, and she was sitting right behind me, so it was really funny that they're looking at our section. So those are funny moments. But yeah, best moment was probably just like seeing like you guys all said, Asuka and Shinsuke winning, and just the nostalgia of the women's rumble. That was so great. Like all those of my favorites, like a lot of them came back because I used to love like Tori and Lita and Trish and not Mickey, Kelly and all those people. Beth Phoenix too. Like that was great. All those were great returns. I would love, and Molly Holly was probably one of my favorites. Her doing the somersault off the top, that was cool. Overall grade, I'd probably give it an A minus. I really enjoyed the show. Like I said, I couldn't find that much wrong with it. So even the Rousey thing was, I agree with you. It wasn't done well. It took away from Asuka, but seeing her in person, like being there and seeing her was pretty fun to do. Pretty cool moment for me. So that's why I give it an A minus. So as we wrap up the show, we're going to start with plugs, and we'll start with our roving reporter, Tom Zambino.
Sure. Just follow me on Twitter @Rotor3, YouTube Zed Reviews, catch up on all that cars and popcorn stuff. And recent episode of Gamer Grudge was posted where I think he titles it Let's Get Weird, where I was hosting and judging, and that was a lot of fun. So you should all go watch that. That's about it.
All right, Delisha.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram @Delisha_Renee. You can find Joe on Facebook @Joseph Butler. He might not add you. He may do. You never know. Go find him and find out. That's always the fun of it. And you can also find me on all the sister channels on Odd Shape channel, Tough channel, and then here on Kingslayer for the AfterMat. What's next? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Elimination Chamber, I think.
Elimination
Chamber then pick.
Oh, right. Oh, and we're getting a women's Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, so the next time you guys will see us Elimination Chamber, I don't think any of our lower thirds are working today. I don't know. Mine wasn't working. I think Tom's might not have worked either because he's really good about putting that up as well. So, yeah, I don't think our lower thirds are working.
Hasn't been working for a while for me, actually.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, our lower thirds are not working. So what you would see here is you can find the People's Sham Cal. You can find me on Twitter @VirenJadejavu. Please subscribe to the Kingslayer Network if you haven't. There's a lot of great content on here, and obviously see all these beautiful people on the show here on all those sister channels, like they were saying, on the Odd Shape channel and all that, and Zed Reviews and all that stuff. So you can check us out. And remember, don't forget Eric. You can find him at Koch. That's Koch200 on Twitter. He also has a channel you can check out on YouTube that he does Game of Thrones stuff, which we just announced that it's going to be 2019 April. So wait for that to come back. His shows Arts of Fury. But for me, you could check me out here. Like the next AfterMat we'll have is for Elimination Chamber, but I'll be back on Gamer Grudge on Monday. I think we have another episode. And then every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, usually I do a Kingslaying, and right now I'm playing Life is Strange, and we had a lot of people in there, and they love the game, so it's cool if you don't watch me stream. Check that out. So if you haven't subscribed to the Kingslayer Network, do so. You'll earn yourself 50 Millennium. And you might you'll see more of the Nightbot talking. That way you can have a feud going on with Tom Zambito and the Nightbot eventually. That'll culminate at a match at WrestleMania. But until then, it's been fun. I want to thank Tom for joining us. Eric for coming back for Rumble Return. Our man from the Rafters, Joe with his great fact checking, who's great all weekend, on point when we had questions. And Delisha, as always, my tag team partner, the Glamazon. Thank you, and we'll see you guys at Elimination Chamber. I'm the People's Sham Cal. We'll see you later. Later.
Bye.
Bye. Go Eagles.